purpose is very simple. Purpose aligns with my inner core and beliefs. It's a combination of talent, discipline, opportunities. Do what you think is best for you. If you think you can do it, then go for it. If it doesn't work, then go back for the safe option. You're young enough to that. You can build something big in a short space of time because it's doable, especially with the aid of technology. To keep it for a long time, you need more than just talent, and you need a very solid foundation to make it sustainable, because every business in the world is local. So you cannot really exploit opportunity without strong local knowledge and know-how. There's just no way where the evolution of the world will happen without Africa being an integral part.
I feel blessed today, guys. It's an awesome day to be alive. Welcome back to this episode of You Are Enough with your host here, Gustav B Achu. In fact, today I'm excited because I'm talking to a gentleman who I've known for over 30 years. He's my best friend. But listen, this is not why I have the guy on the platform today, okay? It's not about my friendship with him. He has done multiple multi-million-dollar businesses across 4 different continents. This guy is one of the best sports marketing and football-related sports business expert out of Africa. Every Major League Soccer team in America knows him because he's been able to place football players from across the continent of Africa in most Major League Soccer teams. But you know what is even more interesting? I don't know of anybody who has experience in entrepreneurship than the young man I have with me today. Please join me welcome Kingsley.
There you go.
How you doing, brother? I want to thank you for taking the time, man. I know we're just having lunch. I decided let's turn on the camera and have some chat. I know you have some calls coming, but we're not going to take much time here. 5 takes. About 25 years ago, we all were young guys in our 20s. You were working for one of the top sports agencies in the world. And you called me one day and you said, Goose, I'm living a 6-figure job in one of the most prestigious sports agencies in the world. I don't want to work for nobody. I will chase my own way in life. Where did you find the courage to do that?
So for me, it's about freedom. So I've never had any doubt that I have to build something to myself, and something that encapsulates how I see life, how I see the evolution of a particular sector. The only way to do that was to go it alone.
Okay, wonderful. Now I remind you, you've been in business for yourself now, I think the last 18 years about.
Yes, you're correct.
I mean, I remember when you started, Mary, you had a lot of hair. Now you're bald. But one of the things I realized is that you never get too hot, you never get too cold, you never get angry, you never get too disappointed, and you never get too excited. How did you build your mind, your spirit to that point?
It's a combination of experience that comes with age. It's a combination of events, and it's just perspective. So business and events around it have a natural way of humbling you, because you have points of extreme high and points of extreme low. And you have to, over time, learn how to manage those and realize that you don't have to be too high when things are high. You don't have to be too low when things are low, because when things are high, you expect them to be low at some point. When things are low at some point, you expect them to be high. So it's just about trying to be consistent with the nature of natural order of things within business.
Awesome. You know, and I just published my first book there. You know, The Seeker. Actually, if you haven't ordered your copy, please look down in the description section of this video. You're going to see the link, order your copy of The Seeker. And King, there is a chapter in this book I thought of you when I was writing, and it's the chapter of extreme self-belief. You know, in your 20s, you decide to walk away from something like that, a promising career, to go on your path. It takes a certain amount of belief in yourself, believing in something that you don't see yet, but you just know that you know that you know. How did you develop that?
No, it's not trait. It's not belief from a naive perspective. It's after studying and examining within self or what one's core competencies are, studying towards that, and at the point where you believe that satisfactorily that you're ready, you have to go, because it's like an athlete preparing for a game. If you've trained sufficiently enough, then you don't fear the opponent. And that's what happened with me. I always wanted to build the sports, media and entertainment business, and I trained myself and then developed a network. And the time I realized that I was ready to go, I had no fear in me because I thought that I was sufficiently ready for the level.
And what is even more interesting, Kingsley, I remember the first time I met one of your really key players who groomed, developed, and brought him to the limelight, who ended up being one of the MVP, who ended up being the LVP in the AFCON competition in 2017. You've worked with hundreds of young boys trying to get into professional football. Some of them successful, some of them along the line didn't make it. From that experience, what would you say are the 3 key traits that are needed to not only be successful in sports, but in life in general?
No, I think sports speaks to life. It's this
Absolutely, exactly.
and it's in line. The tag, it's a combination of talent, discipline, and opportunity.
Talent, discipline, opportunity.
Absolutely.
Can you if you impact that?
You cannot succeed in high-level sports without being talented. You can succeed without being disciplined, and you cannot succeed if somebody doesn't open the platform to you. That's why we're trying to work tirelessly to open platforms for more African boys, because we feel that Africans are hugely disadvantaged from not having professional leagues, so that a lot of talented Africans were disenfranchised. And we haven't even scratched the surface of what we're trying to do, because we need to offer more opportunity for these kids to have the ability to let their talent shine worldwide, which is not easy because it's extremely competitive to secure slots for these players.
Now, what is even more interesting, King, is you were born in Cameroon, raised in Cameroon, you've gone to school in England, you attended school at some of the top business schools in America, UPenn, in Wharton University, UPenn, you've covered Harvard University, now you're pursuing something, a very high degree in England. What's that? Oxford University, Cambridge University. You've done business in Asia, in Middle East. You've done it in Europe, in Africa, and in America today. Now, when you finally lived in America now for an extended period of time, for the first time in all this period of time you've been doing business. Now, when you look at the diaspora, especially here in America, you look at the continent of Africa, what do you think are the things that are needed from the diaspora to help the continent make a leap?
I think the continent has it all. I think the diaspora needs to make it its mission to be part of the continent's mission, not the other way around. Correct, because only the continent is bigger than all of us in the diaspora. How so? It's because of its natural endowment of all it is. It is the cradle of civilization. And so we all have to align with the objective, either by educating the leaders, either by trying to be part of the leadership process, or trying to explore opportunities as strategic partners with governments abroad in countries where we live, and also working hand in hand with the countries on the continent. It takes two to tango.
I did say something very important, King. We talk about partnerships. How important is partnership in business?
Because every business in the world is local. So you cannot really exploit opportunity without strong local knowledge and know-how. And because there's not enough time in a lifetime to go around acquiring knowledge in every sector, knowing every geography or every jurisdiction, you need to expand by strategic partnerships.
How important is collaboration in the process of building the level of building the kind of operations, companies, and businesses that you've built over the years?
Everything is about collaboration. It's about finding people who need your core skill and need your access. And they also bring something on the table and you collaborate. You can't do it all alone.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, King, of course, when I look at your life, I look at some of the things you've been able to do. You're a family man, married to your beautiful wife, Priska, now for getting close to 2 decades, blessed with 4 kids, extended family, your brothers, sisters, friends like us. You are a philanthropist extraordinaire. What does purpose mean to you?
Everything. And purpose is very simple. Purpose aligns with my inner core and beliefs, which is family, pursuit of opportunity, and pursuit of happiness.
Okay. And what does legacy mean to you?
Legacy means a lot. Legacy is one of those things that is subjective. It means a lot, but I think it's about doing the best one could do and let other people judge. And that legacy will be framed by people who are left behind to pass judgment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the reason I ask you is because when I look at what we are to do in the world, right? We're living in a time of extreme speed of information, hyper complexity, over acceleration of opportunities. But there is some human challenges in terms of, number one, identifying what needs to be done. The second thing is finding a way to determine what you're good at and pursuing that. And also the third thing, being able to pay the price. What would you say? And how were you able to bring yourself to understand that, number one, I have to pay the price to get to where I am, and number two, to continue to do that even when sometimes it didn't seem like it was going to happen?
No, because the price is part of the process. And you have to know that at the beginning. So if you know that at the beginning, then you're not surprised by that process.
Okay. And can you tell me about the time, for example, when you were faced with challenges which made you feel like backing up from the project or throwing in the towel?
No challenge. I've been faced with all kinds of challenges. No challenge has been sufficient to push me to even consider abandoning the purpose of my existence, because for me, it's a road of no return. So as long as I breathe, there's nothing that will stop me as long as I'm alive.
Now, if a young person comes to you now, 22 years of age, Kingsley, I really respect your opinion. I respect what you do. I respect what you've been able to do so far as an entrepreneur. I am thinking of going to college, or I'm thinking of starting on my entrepreneurial journey. What will you tell them?
Do what you think is best for you, but make sure that you go through a period of self-examination and find out for yourself if you think you can do it. If you think you can do it, then go for it. If it doesn't work, then go back for the safe option. You're young enough to learn.
Okay. What does mentorship mean to you, and how has that helped you in your life?
Everything. You need the right mentors. You cannot function without mentors.
Who have been some of the mentors that have been impacted you the most?
Many. My late brother, for one, was a great mentor of mine in terms of I called Dr. Kingsley Pungong, who passed in 2006, in 2007. He was my mentor, and still is this day, because his words still rings true to me. I have other friends like Ben van Dufe, that's a great mentor of mine, as a self-experienced executive, and many others from my own local pastor, Emmett Schultz, Alaz is my brother, and a few other people. So I always make sure that they keep me grounded, they keep me modest, and I always tap into their knowledge and wisdom.
Awesome. But now, talking about the role of mentors, right, especially in building a system which can last for a long time. A lot of young people today believe, number one, we can build something solid, long-lasting in a short period of time. Number two, they believe they don't need to put too much work. And number three, they expect results very soon. What will we tell them?
I would say you can build something big in a short space of time because it's doable, especially in the era of technology. To keep it for a long time, you need more than just talent, and you need a very solid foundation to make it sustainable. It doesn't matter how big it is, you need mentors. You need mentors when you're small, you need mentors when you're big. So I think mentorship is irreplaceable, no matter the scale. Then you just need to elevate the level of your mentorship. But mentorship is something that is irreplaceable.
How do you think of President Trump?
I think I don't align with his politics, but I think he's an extremely courageous man. I think he's a fearless man. I think he's very resilient. I think he's a friend to the camera. And I think he's a great media manipulator and understands the fundamentals of politics, which is manipulating the masses and making the uninformed majority align with the intentions of the informed minority.
Oh. So what will you say about the things that he has demonstrated, and how can the young person benefit from that?
No, the biggest lesson from President Trump's existence would be his resilience. He's just masterminded the biggest political comeback in American political history. Anybody who understands about resilience and your ability to stick your guns out and fight for yourself needs to appreciate and respect the guy.
Now, looking at that beautiful continent of Africa, I remember you're one of those who've always been very passionate about that continent. I remember close to 15 years ago, you and me were back in Cameroon. We would take buses at 4 a.m. in the morning going to Yaoundé to fight for business, to try to lobby, to develop some companies and things like that. Where do you see the continent of Africa in 10 years?
Very hopeful. We're very hopeful for Africa. Africa is going through a steady process of change. It is change that nobody can stop. The status quo cannot be maintained because Africa today, if you look at demographics alone, represents 1 billion people, 70% of which are under the age of 30. Those 70% will be a very massive market globally. They'll recruit, they're creating products, content that cannot be held back by restrictive borders. Africa will grow. There's the emergence of China and a new world order that is aligning and needs Africa's resources. And so there's just no way where the evolution of the world will happen without Africa being an integral part.
Man, awesome. This is awesome, Kingsley. Guys, listen. I just wanted to give you a teaser this time, right? Stay tuned on the platform. That's why you need to subscribe to this channel. I'll be bringing Kingsley back again, this time for a longer conversation. Trust me, this guy, what he has in his head, the experiences he has in business and life, I usually tease him. And so your experiences and your knowledge base is at least 10 to 15 books, right? And on this podcast platform, we are going to unpack this. This is a gentleman who gets invitation to talk on platforms like CMN, MSNBC, and he turns them down. I am blessed that I have a personal relationship with him where I can pick up my phone, call him and say, you got to do this. I think my followers would learn a thing or two from you. Please, you need to do that for me. And he bends over and does that. But for HMS, the panel of you who are watching, thank you so much for taking the time to watch with us today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And of course, if you haven't ordered your copy yet of The Seeker, this book is going to transform your life. Down in the comment section, there's a link. In the description of this video, there is a link. Go ahead and order this book from that link. Can you find out what kids say?
Well, no, I think The Seeker is defines a new paradigm. Thanks for putting it all together and continue to being a teacher and inspiring your people. I think it's a great work, and I think the more people who have access to it, the more enlightened they'll become. And I just wish you the very best with this and many congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.